Hey, hey, hey. Hey, y'all. Happy Well Women Wednesday. Well Women Wednesday in full effect. I'm Nakia. I am your host for Well Women Wednesday. I'm here. Feels like every week these days because the girls been showing up. The ladies are here. They've been showing up. And we've been having some really dynamic conversations over the last few weeks. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are here for Well Women Wednesday. Again, I'm Nakia. I am host of this conversation, but also I am the founder of the Women Entrepreneur Leadership Lab. We are a membership network for Black women business owners at various stages. We have membership from pre-revenue through over 2 million, and we are growing. So we have our first chapter, or our home chapter, in Baltimore, but we are growing. We have members in Detroit. We have a chapter in Detroit. Shout out to Katrina, who leads that Detroit chapter. We've got members in New Jersey, in Atlanta, in Charlotte, and where else? I feel like I'm forgetting. LA. We have members in several places throughout the country, so we are a national network at this point. And what we do is build community with Black women business owners. We collaborate in business. We support each other through we collaborate by supporting each other, buying each other's products and services, but also growing business together. So whether it's on projects we collaborate on, or new products we put out together, collaboration is a part of what we do here. Confidence is our third pillar. So the Well is a place where Black women can show up fully themselves. Black women business owners can show up fully themselves, and we believe that when a person can fully be herself, she is her most confident. So this is a space where we are recognizing that we are absolutely confident in all the things that we do, and so that we do that by making sure this is a space where Black women feel like they can be wholly themselves. So I said community, collaboration, confidence. Capital is our fourth C, our fourth pillar. This is a place where we show you where the money is, where the money resides, but also we also have opportunities to access capital of our own. So we provide grants and micro grants to members and members of our just overall subscriber community at times throughout the year. And then our fifth C, celebration. So this is a place where we sis each other all day long. This is a place where we celebrate our greatness and the greatness of all the amazing women around us, and the way in which only Black women can. So today's conversation is with one of our newer members, Jalisa Hardy. She is the founder of, or she is the Holistic Health Plug. So Jalisa is founder of that organization, which is here to support women in growing healthy relationships, treating themselves well and with love. And Jalisa does that in a number of ways that she will be able to share much better than I ever could. But she's been a member now since July, and we're excited to have her be a part. Now, if you've joined us over the last few weeks, you know that in this quarter, we have been talking about marketing. And so I've spent a lot of my questioning of my guests here on their marketing, their branding, their voice in the marketplace, and what they want people to know and remember about them. And so today we will have some of that conversation as well, so that you all can remember Jalisa. And so whether you're in her target market, or you just have a good friend, a neighbor, a sister, a cousin who is, then you can let them know who Jalisa is as well. So the last few weeks, all summer really, I've been on my patio and have had my beautiful grass wall backdrop with the light and all of that, and that's my zone, and everybody has commented on it. Shout out to Holly at Wall Candy for creating that for us. But today entrepreneurship looks like motherhood as well. So I am in my car because my bonus baby had her first volleyball game ever, and I had to be here. And so her game ended 10 minutes before this was starting, and so I am in my vehicle. I'm in my car for this particular conversation, because entrepreneurship today looked like being free enough to go to my child's volleyball game and be there for that. So here we are. Jalisa, if you can go ahead and request to join me, I will welcome you in, or I can invite you to join if I don't see you. But welcome to everybody who joined us. If this is your first time joining us, your 10th time joining us, say hey, say hello, let us know where you're joining from. And yeah, we can't wait to be in conversation with you. If you've never been on a live with me before, you don't know this, but I will share. I am always very anxious and nervous going live with you all to talk to. So even if it just means talking to you through comments, the ability to talk to you and not just to myself is game changing for me. Hey, Jalisa, welcome.
Hi. Look, when you and I got on live in your car, I took a deep breath, a sigh of relief, because my 5-month-old, he is just like all mommy these days. So
I try to that's all right. That's all right.
And he just screamed at him like, "No, I want my mommy." So he's here. You'll hear him.
Okay. Hey, baby. All right. So listen, sis, we've got people here. We've got our sis on the charcuterie board from Detroit, JK Charcuterie. Did you provide the charcuterie boards for the networking night in Detroit in May, JK? I can't remember if that was you, but if that was you, yes, sis, they were delicious and beautiful. So I know I've got, okay, that's our good sis in Detroit. Welcome, welcome, and thanks for being here. If you watch that video of our Detroit networking night, that recap, that good sisters board show up on the video because they were definitely a part of the decor that night. We've got Cincy Realtor from Owens Mills in the house. We've got Sip and Paper from Baltimore. I saw, who else did I see? I saw Destination Reached. I know she's in Baltimore. We've got quite a few people popping in. So as you pop in, just let us know where you're joining us from. We've got Jalisa here with her baby, who is all about mommy right now. We've got me here in the car, having just left my child's first ever volleyball game. So it's a lot of momming going on right now. But as we mom, we are going to have this amazing conversation as well. So welcome again for Well Women Wednesday. And Jalisa, would you please introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and tell us about your business?
Yes, ma'am. Hopefully Akai will let me introduce myself and continue the conversation. But yes, my name is Jalisa Hardy, and I'm also known as the Holistic Health Plug. I provide resources, tools, and safe spaces for Black women to become the partner they deserve so that they can attract the partner they deserve. Yes. We go through so many different failed relationships, and my last situation, failed relationship, I learned so much, and I really want to share those lessons so that we can make better decisions when it comes to our intimate relationships, so that we can have the love and the partner we deserve.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Jalisa. And listen, for those of you on here with your single friends who are waiting for their love to find them, or to find them herself, this is a great conversation for them. So, Jalisa, what led you down this road? What led you to create this business? What's your why?
So as I mentioned, after right now I'm currently going through a divorce, and I just thought that, oh my goodness, Akai, that would be it. You know, when you decide to get married, you feel like, you say those vows, you say it's till death do us part. And that's what I thought it would be. But I went through. You say hi. You just
hi.
Is that the
hi,
problem?
Baby. He's like, I don't want to lay down. Oh, no, that's the problem. Say, I had some gas. I had some stomach pain.
It was a bubble in there. Yes.
Hey, baby.
Yes. But I thought that was my happily ever after. But it was really me settling for what I thought would be the best thing that I would get, because I was 20,
Mm.
26, and I wanted to be married. I wanted to have kids, and just this fairy tale life that I thought I would create with this man that I fell in love with. He was my college sweetheart, and I didn't understand that I was in an abusive relationship at the time. It was just
Mm.
was used to.
Mm-hmm.
So now, 3 years later, after being married and having 3 kids, I have two 2-year-olds right now. My older two are 10.5 months apart, and I have a 5-month-old.
Oh, wow.
I realized this is not, it's not it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to keep settling. And I just made a decision to, cut ties and for us to go our separate ways. But he didn't want to. So I had to make a decision. I had to make a choice for my safety, for my kids' safety. And once I started going to therapy, and she asked me this question, she said, "Why did you still marry him after he put his hands on you?"
Mm-hmm.
And I had to sit with that question, because it's like, you go through things in life and you get your degrees, you have these different accomplishments, and you're like, I'm smarter than that.
Mm-hmm.
How did I end up here? And I know a lot of women that have asked that question in these relationships. How did I end up here?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was getting to the place where I realized, like, it was I had low self-worth. I didn't feel like I would get anything better. And after so many failed relationships, I had to look at myself to say, the problem is me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not them. You hear women all the time say, men are dogs, men are this, men are that. But if you're continuing to attract the same person over and over again with a different face, you have to look at yourself.
So how is this a business now? Tell me about that part of it. What is the business in this, and how did you get there?
So I created what I call a relationship accountability mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get into these relationships and they say, one of my coaches said, you can't see red flags through rose-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a community of women around you that have made mistakes in relationships, and we can share those mistakes with each other, so we can see those red flags, even when we're wearing rose-colored glasses, we have that accountability, we have that support. So what I created was, like I said, the relationship accountability mastermind, so that we can pull each other up on the carpet, like, sis, it might be some red flags in there that you might want to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Go in the opposite direction, and really looking at ourselves to say, okay, what is it about me that I keep attracting these same people over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
Over and over again. So I created that in addition to an 8-week program called Wounded to Wealthy Womb, Attract the Partner You Deserve.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be loved. I feel like everybody wants to be loved, but
Every person.
how
Absolutely.
to build relationships, build healthy relationships. We go based off of what we learned, what we've seen, what we've experienced. So in this 8-week program,
I lost you.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Process through our past experiences so that we can move forward in a way that is healthy, so that we can attract the partner we deserve. So in this 8-week program, I have a framework that we go through, the freedom framework, so that we can literally be free from our past relationships and move forward in a healthy manner, so that we can have the love and the partner we deserve.
That's beautiful. And so often, particularly things that we go through that are difficult or hard, we take on like shame with them, and shame makes us sit with them quietly or silently and not give and share that with the world, or create something from it that allows us to support somebody else, to help somebody else, and really to help ourselves too, because you're making a business of it, or you've made a business of it, which means you can support your family by sharing your healing with other people, but also your trauma, right? And what you've been through. Like, you had to share that here to and be willing to be transparent about your story, which very brave and beautiful that you are in that place where you can do that. You had to be able to do that to make a business of it. But so often we sit with like the shame of what we've been through, and that allowing that to create a story for us that keeps us, silent, that holds us back, that keeps us from moving forward. So how have you taken this really painful and what some would, hold as a shameful experience and make something of it? How do you put imposter syndrome? And I mentioned this, if you've ever listened to me talk about it, I don't believe in it anymore. I believe that, sort of imposter syndrome puts it back on us, the feeling of not belonging in a space. When the reality is most of the time the spaces don't reflect us at all. And so of course we don't feel like we belong. So it's not that we are imposters, it's that the space is foreign. And so I don't typically use the term imposter syndrome, but how have you taken that pain and that trauma and even what could be shame and allowed yourself to be so brave and to use your voice to create a business with it?
Realizing that the quote unquote, I call them quote unquote failed relationships, were lessons. I learned every single time. I learned something every single time from every situation. Even my current situation, I've learned and I've grown. And being able to share those lessons with other people, and knowing that there are women out there that are in relationships or who might find themselves in another relationship where they're feeling like, dang, I'm here again. Like, to really be able to share these lessons so that they can not make the same mistakes again that I've made over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then married and still thought it was something different when it wasn't. Like, that's my real why. And then I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I had to literally make a decision to say the cycle stops here.
Mm-hmm.
We're no longer going to function in dysfunctional relationships because it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want that to be the thing that my daughter felt like, oh, love and abuse are synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me was another driving force to really share my story and share my experiences, because we need that support system around our relationship so we can make better decisions.
Absolutely. So you call yourself the holistic health plug. So that's your branding, right? Like we're in this branding and marketing quarter. And so I'm definitely gonna, jump into the branding piece. So why, sort of how did you come up with that, and how are you using that to create a lane for yourself as a business owner in this space?
So by trade, I am a board certified holistic health practitioner. So when it comes to relationships, and I feel like rebuilding and transforming our lives after failed relationships, after abusive relationships, after toxic relationships, it's a spiritual, mental, and physical transformation that needs to take place. It's not just, looking at the situations from past relationships, but really looking at your life spiritually, mentally, and physically to make a transformation so that you can show up in the relationship that is meant for you to thrive and to go lifelong with, spiritually, mentally, and physically whole. So when it comes to being the holistic health plug, providing those tools, providing those resources and those safe spaces for people to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as you said that, I'm sitting here like, I didn't see that on her website. I didn't see that on her Instagram page. So here's your moment of accountability here. Ma'am, list your credentials.
And that's the crazy thing. My cousin literally just said that to me the other day.
Absolutely. Like that is what allows people to that's that first level of trust, right? Because if somebody doesn't know you and they only, they hear your story, there's some trust there potentially because they know you were vulnerable in sharing your story. But how do I know that you can help me with my problem, right? That other piece is so important. And I think that's right. Let people know what you got. You worked for that. And I think a lot of times, we have been taught, Black women in particular, not to shine, and that it's braggadocious. And like my grandmother had a saying, and I never heard her say it to me, but my mother has shared it with me, that my grandmother used to say, "Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back." And I never heard my grandmother say that, but maybe it's because I didn't pat myself on the back that much. But who knows? But no, and that's why that fifth C here in the well, right, is that we do celebrate each other loudly so that we can shine as bright as possible. So I'm saying that to you to say, from a marketing and branding standpoint, right, let her know. Like, your credentials need to be all, like on your page. You don't have to always lead with it, but for a period of time, until you have built it with your clientele, absolutely, your credentials are like, what gets people to first have that first level of trust with you. And so, yes, lift your credentials, put them where they belong. They need to be seen. We need to know that sis, did her due diligence so that she can help other people. So then you've got, and we talk about experience in the well being, like, or expertise in the well being, several things, and you've got them all, right? Like, you've got the experience that you've studied and worked in the space. You've got the lived experience, right? Like, let it all show, and don't hide behind any of that old stuff that we have so learned to sit with, to not shine. Go ahead and shine, because other people need to find you, and they need to know that they can trust you.
Okay. I got the message. Okay.
So that's it. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But it was so, like, jarring for me, like, oh really? And I've been in community with you for a couple months now, and I feel like that hasn't stuck. If you have shared it, it hasn't stuck. That, sort of that piece around what you've studied that allows you to bring this all full circle and make work of it, beyond your own experience. So that's dope. That's awesome. So my next question. We all have a superpower, I believe. What is yours?
My superpower is healing. Through my words, through my singing. I'm a poet. I sing. So these are things that I use and have used for myself in my healing journey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want her back? Okay. We're not gonna be much longer.
It's my
It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick. Your mommy's a healer. We got it. That's her superpower. She is a healer. Yeah, she's a healer. That's beautiful, right? Yes, it is.
all have the power to heal ourselves. We just need support and communities to really be empowered to know that we have that ability to do it. So
Yes. No, that's beautiful too. And so true. Like, when you think about, we all have the power to heal ourselves, and we need somebody to call that out of us. It, like, really made me think about, like, yeah, like, almost every time in the Bible, even, right? Like, when Jesus would encounter people who needed healing, mostly he just told them, right? Like, it wasn't something. So we need somebody to, like, be that conduit for us. So that's beautiful. So what do Yes, he definitely looks like you. He's so cute. So cute. What do you want people to know about your brand, right? What do you want people to know? So I share the Wells pillars all the time. I share them throughout the conversation. What do you want people to know about your brand? What are your pillars?
So you kind of talked about it earlier today, like, how did I get to this place where, I'm able to share after it only being 3 months since I got the protective order. The framework that I use, the freedom framework that I use with my clients, is what I've used to get to the place that I am. And that is faith, fellowship, forgiveness, feeding your being, and fun. And those things have literally gotten me to this place where I can really share my story without, or without feeling like, I was in a place where I didn't want to live, just in med.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And using this framework, and part of it being therapy, and really tapping into my faith and my beliefs and my community of people, like joining the well, was part of my journey,
Mm-hmm.
because I had people around me to really, empower me to know, okay, you have something that the world needs. You have.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me was a major part. My faith and my community, the fellowshipping with new people and getting into different spaces to really tap into my superpowers, to tap into, my talents, my gifts, and my abilities, to say, sis, you have value, sis, you are
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's it. No, I appreciate that. So your pillars are your framework, your 5F framework are the pillars of your company. So say those one more time for me: faith, fellowship,
Forgiveness,
forgiveness.
feeding your being, meaning spiritually, mentally, and physically. Feeding, what are you eating? What are
Yeah.
you feeding your spirit? What are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your,
Mm-hmm.
because those things manifest as who you become, and
Mm-hmm.
how your life becomes.
Mm-hmm. And
Even
what's the fifth one?
and fun.
Fun. Yes. I love it. I love it. Because everything can't be heavy, right? Like you have to have some lightness in your process. So no, that's beautiful. And as you were sharing it, I was thinking about how all of those pillars, like how those pillars greet you and meet you at different stages in life, right? Like they aren't just about like one process. Like all of those will carry you through many stages of your life. So as you are on this journey growing yourself and growing with others, those can be your pillars no matter what your business becomes, right? Like even as your business evolves, and it will, those are your pillars, right? Like those, that's dope. That's amazing. And how did you come to those? I know you said that's a journey you went on. How did you come to those?
So I've gone through a whole lot of different things in my life, and I finally decided that I would write a book. And I prayed to my God, like, what is it that you have for me to write about? Like, what is the outline? And that's where these 5 F's came from. And it literally has followed me. When I was doing financial coaching, I've used these 5 pillars. When I was doing book coaching, I've used these 5 pillars. When I was working with women that have gone through sexual and reproductive health issues and disorders, like these 5 pillars, like you said, can literally translate.
Mm-hmm. 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 I'm gonna look for one more. You gonna add one more later, finances or some funds or something, because we gotta get to the money. We gotta get to the money because
That
there's so much freedom in
that
the money.
the financial freedom, that's the bonus one that I don't put out there, because like I said, I used to do financial coaching, and financial freedom and financial education is like a part of my heart, my passion.
So why don't you put it out there, sisters? Please encourage her, because we like to hide behind that one, right? Sometimes. So why aren't you comfortable with the financial freedom one right now?
Because I'm not financially where I want to be.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That imposter syndrome, feeling like,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not ready to do
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yep. And we do that, right? Like we can have the knowledge, the information, the experiences, and we will still like put something in our pocket because we feel like, I can't do it because I don't have these things. So I'm not going to push you on it because we all have those things. I'm just going to remind you of it. I'm not going to push you. I'm going to remind you, and encourage you to think about the ways in which it might show up in a way that, is aligned with where you are on your journey right now, because somebody needs it, right? Um, so I'm just going to ask you two more questions because I know, what's the baby's name again?
Okay.
Akai is sick of us, and he's been nice. And I thought Javon was saying he looks like you, but what he was saying was he looked at you like, you see me cutting up. Right. He like, listen, I'm tired of this. But he's been holding on for a minute. So one of our other pillars I haven't mentioned yet is collaboration. Well, I mentioned it when I list them, but collaboration. So I've been asking everybody and stumping everyone with this is who is your dream collaboration with, and what would y'all do?
My dream collaboration, I would say, would either be Oprah or Ayanna Van Zandt.
I know that's right. Call them out. Call them out. Big ones. Yes. And I feel like other people knew too, but they just were nervous to say those names. No, we're gonna say them. Call them out. So Oprah or Ayanna Van Zandt. And I thought Ayanna Van Zandt when you were talking. I'm like, I wonder if she'll say her. And what would y'all do together?
I feel like we would do a healing retreat
Mm.
and really invite women to come and get that healing experience for, starting their journey, whether they decide, okay, I'm now in a place where I'm ready to be in a relationship or I'm ready to get married, but really having that place to heal and really know, okay, now I'm ready. So working
Mm-hmm.
and the Yana as coaches and really putting those things out to really say, okay, at the end of it, are you really ready to take this
Mm-hmm.
life after
Mm-hmm.
you've gone through these toxic, abusive relationships?
So one of the challenges I've been giving, and to myself as well, is once you know who it is and you know what you want to do with them, to in a post, in a story, whatever, tag them like they're on here. This is the thing we know about, social media is this free marketing channel. It's this free branding channel that shame on us if we don't use it to its fullest, because just 15 years ago it didn't even exist, and we had to pay for every bit of marketing. Any bit of anybody seeing or finding out about us was through like really pounding pavement and paying. So like, how can we show more gratitude for like the doors that are open to us, and by using them to their fullest? So I challenge you, when you feel ready, but not really, before you feel ready, to to post something that speaks to the desire you have to do something with Ayanla, for example, that retreat, or if you plan a retreat, tag her, invite her to it. Something that calls her in. That you never know, when you say the people's name or when you call them out, who following you might know those people. At the end of the day, everybody's just a person, right? Everybody has relationships. So that's been my challenge to everybody. And I'm about to do mine real soon, because I was waiting to launch a thing to put mine out there, but I have been wanting to collaborate with Myleik Teal, who's the founder of Curlbox. For those who don't know, I love how she built her business. I love how she shares in this space. I love, just the authenticity, and the holistic, the wholeness that she shares in this space, right? She doesn't just share her business; she shares her family. She shares all the parts of her journey. I've been dying to do something with her, and we're doing a business summit at the end of October, and we've just started marketing it. I'm gonna put it out there for her, um, to know that we'd love to have her there, and to collaborate with her and have her for a particular fireside chat. So all of y'all send me good vibes, good energy. If somebody on here knows Myleik, connect us. I know you can just tell she's a great mother, right? Like, you can just feel it. You are. And so yes, that's my one. And so as we wrap up and you get back to Akai, any like last words? What would you say to a woman who is where you were 6 months ago today? What would you say to her, in about life, or about starting, about doing the thing with the lessons she's learned?
One of the things I've realized is that you can't pivot unless you're in motion. I would get
Mm.
stuck in a place because I was overthinking and thinking like
Mm.
this, I don't have that. Even staying in my marriage longer than I wanted to because, okay, I wasn't financially where I wanted to be. But once I took that first step and got in motion, I was
Mm.
pivot here and pivot there and get everything that I needed in order to continue to move forward. Never be afraid to just make that first step. Because once
Mm.
you can start to build momentum, but you can't build momentum sitting still.
Ooh, I love that. You cannot pivot unless you're in motion. Wow. That's that's it. That's it. Say less. Say no more. We did it. That's it for today. Akai, thank you for loaning us your mommy and for being so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jalisa. We hope to see you tomorrow at the meetup. We hope Akai lets you attend.
It
So
was
that's right. Get moving. You can't pivot unless you're in motion. That's the word of the week, y'all. We're done. So thank you so much for joining us this week. Next week we are back with another Well Women Wednesday, another one of our phenomenal members. Today we were with Jalisa Hardy, the holistic health plug, holistic healing plug. Which one? Did I get it right?
holistic health plug.
Holistic Health Plug. Check her out. What's your Instagram, Jalisa, so we can find you?
It's at the holistic health plug.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. We will see y'all next week.
See you. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye. Look,
And thank y'all for joining us and for, recognizing that motherhood is all the time and for encouraging our sis to just show up with our baby on our lap, with him climbing on her head, all the things. Thank y'all so much for being here. See y'all later.